All right, it's 7. You want to get started? It looks like we have quorum. Rob, that's you, right? Rob is Rob.
It says Rob's audio is still connecting on my screen. So
Yeah, I just noticed that nothing had popped up yet. There he is.
There he is.
All righty. I'm assuming that's our Rob, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna say it's our Rob. And then Jim didn't know if he'd be able to get on, so I don't think we need to wait.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait for Jim. He just said he's going to try. I mean, he's actually on a plane flying at the moment. So
Yeah, that's what he told me too. But we have quorum, so we're good. We don't need him. All righty. All right, so we'll call it. Like I said, we do have quorum with 3 out of 4 board members. Jim is currently in the air flying. He was going to try and log in, but he wasn't sure what his connection would be like. So we may hear from him in a little bit. I did post your notice on Friday for the meeting. And then I sent you all over a copy of the November meeting minutes. Do you want to read them, waive them, any corrections?
The weights. They just gave me the weights and said, here you go.
I'll make a motion to waive the reading and accept as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, your financials as of October in your operating account, you had $133,935.56. Your reserves, you had $9,709.32 for a total of $143,644.88. Any questions on your financials?
Nope. I looked through the check things and it answered the one question I had about if that included our recent payment for the insurance, which it did. So
Okay.
I'm good.
And then your RV lot's looking a lot better too. So I think we've gotten all kinks worked out with that,
Awesome.
with the payments there. So.
I did talk to Mary today. She's gonna go ahead and put the promise pay beginning for January for us, so we can keep track of that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know why it normally, see what happens when we approve it. I'll make a note in QuickBooks where she'll see it and then it normally goes right onto the financials. So I'm not sure what the disconnect is.
Yeah, she said it was on there, like it's in the QuickBooks and everything.
That's what, yeah, we could see it on our end. That's why we kept asking. I was confused. So
no, she said it's on their end. I said, but when Joy sends the papers, I'm like, we don't see it. And so she said she'll make sure it's on that part so we can see it as well.
Okay.
And then the other one we questioned, like the 1511 La Maderia. I think last month you said that they went ahead and did payment, but she said nothing was seen. Like she went to the portal for the attorneys and it didn't even show that they paid it.
All right, hold on, give me one, because I believe that was in my notes from the attorney that they had paid in full.
Yeah, I remember because you sent the email.
I'll have to follow up with the attorney then, because that's something on their end as to why they haven't dispersed that to us yet. Because I don't understand why they would be holding. That doesn't make sense. So I'll make a note of that and I'll follow up with them in the morning as to why we haven't received that disbursement. Or if, I don't know if maybe there was an error on their end and they reported on a wrong account.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, I'll follow up with that and then let you all know as soon as they fill me in as to what's going on with that. I should hear back from them tomorrow. They're normally pretty quick with it.
Perfect, thank you.
Not a problem. Anything else as far as financials? All right. Louisa, did you have?
Would we, I was trying to come off mute, sorry. Would we be, would this be a good time to talk about the CD, or should we wait till another point in time, being that financials?
Let me go ahead. Let's do that under old business so I can put it in a category zone.
Very good.
So we'll do that. Let's do ARC and then we'll do the CD. Bring that. Louisa, did you have a report for ARC or no? I know we have.
Yeah, they're the ones I emailed you. Actually, I have them right here on my phone. I can tell you.
I know we have a couple open for the roofs.
Well, I figured, yeah, that one was fine. I just did the ones that we had approved for last month.
Okay.
So in November, we had 1561 Lamaderia that has a new roof put on. 1690 Los Palmos that had a diseased oak tree that was removed. And then 1519 Los Palmos had painted their house. So those were the three approved ARCs that were put in for the month of November, and all three were approved.
Thank you. All right. Rob, your turn about the CD.
I know we talked about taking some of our funds and investing it into a CD. You know, we got the rates back from Mary, I guess. And to me, it just seems, I don't know that we're going to get better rates anywhere from, you know, it seems the rates are low, but they're better than just a general savings account. I'd like to motion that, I mean, we've got a pretty good cushion sitting there right now. I'd like to motion that we put 50,000 into a 6-month CD with with the notes from what Mary gave us. They're going to change a little bit, but from wherever she got her information.
That's with Union, who we bank with.
Okay.
Rob, one of the questions I had, and I didn't see an answer, are we limited to what we can invest our money into? In other words, could we put it into a mutual fund and get a better return, or would that not even be something that most of the board members would be interested in? Stick with the safe CD. My thought is my reason for the CD is it locks it away for 6 months. It's actually locked down, whereas a mutual fund you can have access to. That was my reasoning for a CD. I could be open to investing anyway. I mean, investing is good one way or the other, and you know, I just, you know, locking it away sometimes can be helpful. It's not visible to us. I'm up with either one. I just wanted to know if we wanted to make any effort to look into, you know, other investment opportunities, or if we just want to jump into the CD and deal with it again in 6 months from now. Because I mean, I'm fine with that. You know, a short 6 month CD, I'm fine with that. So. Yeah,
that's kind of why I was going 6 months, see how it goes. I didn't want to, I really wanted to say 100,000, but I thought that would be a little aggressive at this point. Just let's see what 6 months does us with this, and see if it's worse in 6 months, we can look at it again, because we'll have to figure out what we're doing with it.
Right. I would second the motion then to take $50,000 and put it in a 6 month CD as outlined by Mary.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. And with that, I moved everything into a new business category since it kind of was there was a lot. I just kind of starting fresh with what we have to approve tonight. So I'm just going to go into new business. I know we have some of the items we have been discussing, but like I said, I'm just going to move it over. The first thing I want to get through though is the budget. So that's our first item of new business is the 2021 budget approval. Let me pull that up. Then I know that there's been a few back and forth with getting the budget in line with how you guys want.
I believe that the final one that we kind of all got thrown together had the monthly dues at $121.48 for the regular lots, the standard lots, and $125.64 for the estate lots, which basically represents a 2% cost of living increase from this current year.
And basically that's because we accounted for increases in other areas, every area, assuming that everything will go up.
I'll say yes, generically yes.
Yeah, I was just making it was more of a statement just
Yep.
because we're,
Yep.
you know, there's other people other than the board on. So I kind of wanted
Right.
to just make it known why there's an increase. I know the idea of an increase just seems, you know, problematic at this time, but, you know, business doesn't stop and they continue to want their cut.
Right. Well, I mean, even just our lawn service has gone up, what, $200 a month, just that alone, you know, every month. You know, so just like the rest of the world, it's getting more expensive every month. So, or every year. So. I mean,
So
I'll make a motion to accept the budget.
That's the only thing that went up. So if those go up and then we have to look possibly into a fertilization company, does that give room to go above? Like right now, I think you have it a budget at like $24,000. Does that change?
correct. It is 24,000 that it was budgeted at last year. We did not
Okay.
use that 24,000. So.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget that was presented. I didn't even know how to put it because we've bounced a bunch around. How do I?
Well, that's why I
refer.
referred to it as the monthly dues, because even after you've bounced everything around, the monthly dues always change. And that's why when I started the conversation, I said the monthly dues of $121.48 and $125.64 respectively for standard and estate lots.
Okay, so I guess we should motion on that then. That way, budget that includes those numbers.
All right, I'll second a motion on the 2021 annual budget that has the monthly dues at $121.48 for standard lots and $125.64 for estate lots.
I appreciate you seconding that with a clarification on those numbers. I didn't have them in front of me.
You're welcome.
Aye.
Ready for a vote, Joey?
yeah, sorry, I'm just
Aye.
trying to make sure my numbers are there. So 121.48 and then 125.64. Just making sure I have the right one in front of me. All right, and then all in favor? Good.
Aye.
All right, that
Aye.
takes care of the budget. Next item is the flagpole. The 25-foot Delta sectional flagpole for $164 for the front entrance.
Yes.
We've been bringing this up and bringing this up. That's the number. Looking around, it's a quality pole. It comes with the flag. It doesn't include installation, but it would be here then, and we can figure out the installation at least.
Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and purchase the flagpole, the 24-foot Delta sectional flagpole kit at $164.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain from that one. It passed anyway.
Okay.
Well, when Jim jumps on, he said yes to B. He was good for B for the flagpole.
All right, the next is the electric sign. So I know this one we've gone back and forth on. Fairway will be able to mount it on the wall. I did talk to our maintenance committee or maintenance crew, not committee. And that is something that they will be able to do, which I'm sure will be a lot cheaper than trying to find a company elsewhere to do so. So it's now just figuring out exactly what sign we want to get, how big, and what we want to include, and all that fun stuff.
Has anybody else had the opportunity to go over to Brookside and look at their sign?
I did not.
No.
Theirs is what is referred to as the 32 by 96 P10. And that particular sign currently online goes from that company goes for, I think, $340, but that's the basic sign that doesn't have any Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or any of those other things. That's just the physical sign. And what I guess I'd kind of asked is, can we at least put a dollar amount on what we're willing to spend on this sign, and then shoehorn the sign and its features into that. And I was kind of hoping everybody'd go over to Brookside and take a look and even make sure that they like the resolution on that sign and or the size of it.
Well, what's your take on the size that they have there? I mean, and the resolution.
I think that it's sufficient. You know, it's like anything with resolution, the closer you get, the more pixelated it gets. And, you know, you can jump up to the P6, which has a greater resolution, but obviously with just like everything that starts costing more money. So that's why I was kind of hopeful everybody could really just go lay eyes on Brookside and say, yeah, that'll work in our division or our you know, neighborhood, or we'd like something with a little more higher resolution, you know. And even if we are still going to talk about that, you know, we could still put a dollar amount on what we're willing to spend on the sign and make sure that we just fit it into that dollar amount, no matter what resolution.
Do you know how much the P6 is?
I believe it's $10 more per square, and I believe there are eight squares, so an extra $80, I'll just say, or $100.
So you're doing like $300 or $400.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I personally would say, could we agree to spending $500 on the sign itself?
I was thinking 500 before you even said anything.
Right. You know, I mean, and
Like,
then we'll shoehorn the sign into that pricing.
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw a motion out there then, and that way we can just vote on that.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we spend up to $500 on an electronic sign, looking at the signs from LED signs for less, preferably looking to duplicate what the Brookside neighborhood has put over at their subdivision.
Is that including installation, or is that just for the sign? I'm just making sure we clarify that.
I would say that's just for the sign itself, but hoping to get installation included in that.
You're looking at probably around, you're looking at under $100 for installation.
yeah, so that works.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. All righty. Next is the pool pavers. So we received the quote for the pool pavers to reset for 2,200 from Surfside.
I had a conversation with Jim about this, and I asked him what his thought was about how important it was to do the sand and seal after they were reset. And I also asked him what the average price was per square foot, and he said it's about $1 a square foot. If you look at the original quote from Surfside, where they are just resetting at $2,200, but then doing a sand and seal and pressure washing for $4,000, it's kind of all in that same ballpark. And I guess the question that is really in front of the board, which I didn't really realize till tonight, is do we want to move forward and reset the pavers and not worry about the sand and sealing? Do we want to make sure that those two things happen together? And if we do want to make sure they happen together, do we want to do it now or do we want to wait till the spring?
Sorry, do you care? You want me to go in the other room? Sorry.
I have a question because I really don't know, but I mean, we discussed resurfacing the pool too. Does that, when we get that done, will that interfere? Which one should be done first, the pavers or the resurfacing?
Not a pool person, but I don't think they make a difference.
It doesn't? Okay.
My take is it doesn't make a difference, but they could probably even be done simultaneously depending on what the contract needs to be done.
Okay, yeah, because I was thinking, because the tile on the top part of the pool and then you have the paver meet, I wasn't sure if that would even cause a problem. That's why I was asking. Okay.
I mean, I really wanted to kind of push forward to get the pavers reset, to be honest, but after talking to Jim a little bit and thinking about it and it being winter, I'm starting to think maybe we should hold off a little bit more. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm in favor of holding off a little bit longer on resetting the pavers. Resurfacing the pool might be more advantageous to us, especially during the winter, because obviously we'll have to close the pool. We've got an early winter today, but it'll last for 3 days. But January, February timeframe, I think, is more likely to be the colder times. And Gary, who knows? We could be in the 80s over the weekend, and people want to use the pool. So that's kind of why I'd say kind of hold off on anything doing it.
The one thing that has came up when Joy found it, she's only gotten one resurfacing bid so far, but they said they can't get to it till June or July. So I mean, really, we wouldn't let them do it in June or July. We'd put them off until October or November. So the whole resurfacing thing is really not working out as far as happening anytime soon. So that was kind of why I was like, well, let's just get the pool pavers done and get that part done. But now I'm even thinking maybe we should wait off a little bit more and see if Joy can maybe find another company who's
I have one coming out Friday. I have one coming out Friday.
Go ahead.
I have one coming out Friday at 11 o'clock to give us a quote on pavers, on resurfacing the pool, like a separate quote, and then one together.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of struggle anytime we have only one bid. I'm leery on that, just not necessarily for price, but just if there's only one person doing it, why is only one person doing it? And is that just because we haven't dug deep enough? And I like the second opinion most of the time. So.
All right. So should we just let the pool pavers go for right now and revisit it, maybe January or February or something?
Yeah, once I get I put 3 calls in. One's coming out the 11th, and I'm waiting for a return call on the other 2 places to set up a time for them to come out as well.
Okay, so let's just table that then.
So,
All right, next is Burton's estimate for 700 for painting the road markings.
What do you think about this, Rob? I know that Jim said he had a little bit of time to come over and talk to you about whether or not you thought we should spend the time now to reseal the roads or that they still are in decent shape. What are your thoughts about that?
I know we got the road markings down. I don't know that they're in, you know, it probably does need to get done, but I'm also thinking we're going to need to knock out the paving or the resurfacing or sealing or whatever they call it, which then would be a waste of money to put. I'm thinking we're going to need it within the next year. And I think the painting, if we painted now, we'd be I think we'd be wasting our money.
So to kind of rephrase it a little bit different, you're thinking that you would like to entertain doing a reseal during the next year to 18 months and budgeting for that and move to that direction over worrying about painting the lines right now?
That is my take. Yeah, that's good clarification.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm okay for it with either way. I don't know. I just kind of think our roads don't look that bad, and I'm not really sure they're ready to start that whole. Once you start resealing, you got to keep resealing, and you know you're in that cycle once you start it, and makes me nervous getting started in the cycle. That's all. Yeah,
I'm knowing. I mean, the resealing. I'd rather reseal than repave. You know, obviously you can get several years of resealing in before you add up to the cost of a repave, but that's coming at some point too.
Right. So do we want to just let the road markings be the way they are and just drop that topic completely and start looking at budgeting for resealing the roads then? Or do we want to paint the road markings and push back the resealing? Which way do we want to go?
Well, I know I'm good with just painting the markings right now. When I walk around, I don't, like you said, I didn't think that the roads were in bad shape where they needed it right now. But I also know that Jim has input about this too, because he was letting me know that if Burton did come in, he wanted to know how fast the drying paint would be. He'd want to make sure that it wasn't the cars weren't going to be able to drive over it and cause marks on the road. So he has input about that, or like questions about it too. So I don't think
there is a Jim that joined the call. I don't know if it's our Jim or not, but there is a Jim that's joined the call.
There, Jim.
Like,
Sorry.
Well, maybe not.
The drying is normally only 24 hours that it can't be driven on.
Well, they also, I mean, and I looked into this one, even just with Sherwin-Williams, they have fast drying paint that in 20 minutes you can put it onto full road traffic. So
wait, are we talking about painting the markings or the resealing?
Yes, painting the markings.
Painting the markings.
I was talking about resealing. Sorry,
Oh.
Yeah.
We're not on the same page. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
At least I thought we were talking about painting the markings. Am I correct, Louisa?
Yes.
That Jim's concern was about the paint drying, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And I'm sure that they're going to come out and use fast drying paint that ain't going to be sitting there for 3 hours. So I'm sure that will not be a problem, but we can clarify that should we want to move forward with repainting the markings.
This is probably gonna be one of those things that's gonna end up being done through our emails.
So do we want to just kind of wait for this so that Jim can officially weigh in on it? Is that what we want to do?
Yep, I'm good with that.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll officially, table that, I guess.
Okay. Got it. Next is trimming the trees at the pool. We have a quote from Nick from No Worries for $750.
Lisa, do you remember how many trees it is? Is it 3
5.
trees you're looking at? 5? Okay, 5 trees.
Oak trees. Yep, it's that huge one behind the back fence that blocks the light from the RV lot shining onto the playground.
Right.
The 3 against the RV lot in that parking lot area, and then the 1 as you enter the parking lot area on the right-hand side.
That's right, because he said it was $150 a tree. That's right. That's right.
Have these trees never been trimmed? It seems that, at some point we've had them trimmed from our lawn service company on one of their makeup for not mowing type of things.
I believe that Flawless was what Flawless did for trimming those trees was only to trim them up to a certain height. I'm just going to say up to 12 feet. I don't know what that number really was, but to just only trim them up off the ground. So one
Okay.
of those trees definitely needs to be trimmed up off the ground, and they weren't trimming off the ground, which is hanging over the fence, which Louisa was referring to, the one that's between the RV lot light and the playground. And then
Right.
the other ones are really blocking a lot of the light and the visual what's going on, and really are talking about compacting them and getting them trimmed down in size, not just trimmed up off the ground.
Okay. I'm not usually for messing with the oak trees and trimming them from the outside. You trim them from the inside out. But that's what I've done traditionally with my oaks. And I don't have any here, but I had 5 in my old house. So just, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly.
I agree with what you're saying. Going in and normally you just trim the dead out. I got that. But what we're looking at up
take
there
it from the inside out. And,
right.
Yeah.
But what we're looking at up there is it's really blocking a lot of the light, and some of the trees are actually encroaching over on the RV lot, which I don't know if you remember, last year, 18 months ago, I got on top of my own RV and trimmed all the tree back from my RV. But
I do remember that. And in situations like that, I can see trimming it, from the outside in. I'm Flawless when every time they go down Bayside Lakes Boulevard and hack the hell out of the trees, it irritates me. I just think they're not arborists, they're just cutting. So I don't know. I'm hesitant because I don't know what we're actually asking him to do when we say trim the trees. So
I think, and Louisa can clarify, I think what we're really seeking with trimming the trees around the pool area parking lot is to let more light be dispersed around the parking lot to discourage cars parking down there and whatever shenanigans may be trying to happen as it gets dark. And I think that's the primary goal of trimming back the trees, to be honest with you.
And I can see trimming the inside out would do the same thing. That's why I'm, because you're reducing the density of the tree. But I hear you. I could also see somebody cutting a hole in the middle of a tree just to kind of let the light shine through. And there's been some, work done in the neighborhood that I probably would have screamed at somebody do if they did it to my house, but, on the oaks. But that's, everybody's got their own little method of cutting trees. I don't see that with oaks. So,
well, I guess
if we're trimming them back,
is do we want to trim them? I mean, let's start with that. I mean, I think we all agree that we do want to trim them. I mean, if you'd like to have more input on how they're trimmed, I'm more than fine with you directing Nick on the fashion in which you'd like them to be trimmed. I just would like them trimmed back so more light is being dispersed around the parking lot.
I hear that 100. I'm for that as well. I just, what kind of trimming and, type of thing. I guess I'm open to talking to Nick and working that out with him too. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Just so I feel comfortable with it. And whatever that's worth, that I'm comfortable. I mean.
Okay. I mean, then I would make a motion that we accept Nick's bid for $750 to trim all 5 trees, and that Rob would discuss with Nick the manner in which to cut them to allow the light to diffuse through the parking lot better.
I second that motion for Nick to trim back the trees for $750, and for Rob to discuss that with him as well.
All approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Got it. I will let Nick know it was approved, but not to do anything speaks with Rob.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, the next is allow Nick to use door hangers. I'm gonna go ahead and let you take that one, Dan.
I'd asked Nick if he'd made any effort to try and let people know who had been using Flawless's service to trim their bushes and do the weeds in their flower beds. And he said, yeah, I put the sign up. At that point, he asked me what the board thought about allowing him to put door hangers up as he was working in the neighborhood to just say, you know, hey, look, I see your palm tree is needing trimming. I can do it for, you know, $20. I don't know, whatever he does, and put the door hanger on the resident's door. And I told him that I would bring that up and get the board's thoughts on it and let him know. So that's all it is. Is that something we're interested in letting him do?
From my perspective, we have the sign out front that says no solicitation. We've pretty well enforced that over the years. And I know he's already a vendor, but that would be personal solicitations and not a board solicitation. If we had a newsletter, or when the sign goes in, that's something we want to put into the sign, I would be for that. But to be door to door type of situation, I'm not for that as far as solicitation goes.
I can agree with that. And I definitely can agree with it. It should go into a newsletter or the board or the electronic sign or whatever. So I'm on board with you for that, Rob.
Right.
I'll also let them know we can't do the door hangers when I let them know about the trees.
Good joy.
The last issue, well, not issue, the last item I have, well, it's kind of an issue, is the pool house roof. We need to decide if we want to go ahead and just repair that issue in the soffit. We got the bid for $500 just to repair that one area, or we can basically put on an entire new roof for $7,000. We need to, for insurance purposes, figure out how we're going to repair that, because the adjuster gave us till January to make that correction.
Yeah, I would say just the soffit for 500 right now.
Because of the deadline of getting it done for our insurance purposes, I would agree with just get the soffit fixed for now.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, I will contact them tomorrow and let them know and get us scheduled as soon as possible, and then let the adjuster know that we have that scheduled to be repaired.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That is all I had.
The one question I had, Joy, was you sent us out the playground inspection report.
Yes.
And I believe that you would have already addressed the swings. Was there anything else that we need to handle right away? I think that there were a couple of things that says replace immediately the fencing around the playground, the slats, and wasn't there something else?
Those slats are the same issue that we have constantly with assuming it's kids kicking them out.
Right.
So I reminded Mike is our maintenance man for Fairway. I reminded him to continually inspect those. That way, if they're kicked out laying down, just to put them back in. So we'll be in compliance with that. The swings have already been replaced, as well as that route that I don't want to say cited for, the route that was in report that was a tripping hazard, that has been removed as well. We are going to have to budget for a new playground here within the next probably 2 to 3 years. Your system is pretty old and is starting to rust out. There's a lot of components that do need to be replaced due to rusting. But by the time we get that all replaced with installation, you're going to be at almost the cost of a new playground anyway.
And what's Well, what did you guys just pay up at the POA to replace that playground, to give us an idea of cost?
15,000, I believe was what we spent on that one.
Okay.
And that, we had volunteers come and actually remove that. So that didn't include removing and disposing of the old system.
Okay. And did you get the impression from the inspection that there was anything else we needed to do to kind of keep that one limping along? You know, I think I'd read somewhere about removing some rust and painting some areas or something like that.
Yeah, those things. So I'll have Mike look at those and the things that need to be painted over and anything. I'll have him double check too if there's anything that, you know, we're looking at fingers getting stuck in or whatnot. We'll have boarded up, but there's nothing on there that, you know, maintenance can't take care of for the time being and keep it somewhat functioning. But that is going to have to be a sooner than later project.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's good about putting that large amount of money in the CD, because when we do these goals and plans, that's something to look forward to.
Yes. That's all that I had. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to new business.
I'm all good.
No, nothing added new. Mm-mm.
Open it up. I know Muriel had her hand raised. I don't know if you still have a question, Muriel. Maybe not.
I have a question real quick.
Okay.
Hey, Joy, when did the fence, did they give you I know you said they were like backed out, like they had a lot of.
They did.
stuff going on?
They were hoping to try to get to us by the end of December, if not definitely the first week of January. I did have, because that fence under Groot is just starting.
Yeah, you see
So
it?
I had Mike go and kind of put that back in place and keep it up there for the time being. And he's just going to keep an eye on that until we can get it, you know, repaired correctly. But it is all ground now. The slats are all, so it looks a lot better, but.
Good.
But yes, we're and they know that, especially with that DeGroot fence, I let the fencing company know that, you know, the longer that stays like that, we're at risk of getting a violation from the city. So fairways maintenance and them trying to get to us as soon as possible. It'll get done as soon as it can. But yeah, vendors are they're booked.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
All right, good. Did she pop back on and raise her hand, or?
No.
Oh,
I think my computer may have cut out. Did you say something else, Louisa?
I wasn't sure if she popped back on you said she had her hand raised. I wasn't sure if
Oh,
she.
Muriel, yeah, she had her hand raised. Are you with us, Muriel?
I am. It was only during the tree discussion. We went from palm trees to oak trees. On the palm trees, I believe back the contract with Flawless, that they did have to trim the 22 palm trees, but it was trimming. It has nothing to do with these oak trees that you're very concerned about. So once we went into one thing and the other, I'm going, okay, that's when I pulled down my hand.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure we weren't ignoring you.
No, not at all.
Anyone else have anything for open discussion?
Can I ask, when is the next ARC meeting?
Mark has been doing everything via email. So there's
And
not-
what is the planned turnaround time?
they technically have 30 days to approve.
If nobody else has anything, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, our next
Second.
meeting will be January 12th, 2021.
All right. Thank you, Joy.
I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
Merry
Thanks.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Wait,
everyone.
and Happy New
Bye.
Year too.
Yes, get out of 2020.
All right.
Have a good night.
Merry Christmas.